All right, hello everybody. It is Coach Steven here with Woolery Strength Systems. Today we're going to be going over our my max effort upper body day on Friday 19th, the 19th of September. In September, whatever, doesn't matter. I don't know why I even keep saying the date. Not that that really changes a whole bunch. But anyway, going ahead and getting into the lift. Started out with band pull aparts, band overhead tricep extension, and split stance rotational med ball throws. Again, that's been kind of our, besides just difference in the med balls, we have pretty much been doing that for these past 3 weeks, and the next 3 weeks will change. But anyway, then we went into, for our main movement today, was 2 board press for a 1 rep max for our max effort. Was very, 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 very fun. Was happy with that as well. You might be able to see a little preview of that over here. Next, incline dumbbell bench press. We did 3x15 at 50 pounds once again. That one was a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Disappointing, at least coming off of the 2 board press, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. Okay, I did just need to check that for just a second, and I'll show you all what I'm talking about in just a second. Single arm dumbbell rows went very well. They got pretty heavy towards the end, but that's okay. Then instead of dumbbell collie press, we did something else that we will change here soon, and I'll show you soon, and then barbell curls, and then some banded side bends. So let's go ahead and make this full screen and then get into the lift. So as you might have seen, got a 1 rep max of 265 with the 2 board. I was really happy about this, mainly because when we did 3 board, I also got 265. So I've gotten strong still through 2 more inches of range of motion, give or take 2 inches. And I was able to do the same weight, again, with more increased range of motion. So I'm very happy with that. And based off that, I would like to think that I could probably full bench, 2 chest, around 240 to 245, I think would be a safe bet, based off how it went today, give or take. Again, it could be off. Last time I benched 245, it was either 240 or 250. I can't remember for sure off the top of my head right now, because there was one that I was clean and one that was maybe didn't count. But I was around 200 pounds, and right now I'm sitting very low 180s, and I touched 179 the other day. So being able to bench that much with this body weight is extremely impressive for myself. I know many people are way stronger than I am, naturals and all that, raw as well. So I know I'm not the most impressive lifter, but I'm happy with it myself. But anyway, going through the rest of this, we had these split stance rotational med ball throws, and I believe we did the same variation. Again, I've been kind of changing these up, just trying to be a little more dynamic. Again, just trying to rip that down, use that stretch reflex in the trunk muscles, and then swing against the wall, throwing it against there. Trying to throw it through the wall, rather, with a lot of power. Switching this here. Going to the left looks a lot more uncoordinated, 100%. But that's okay. That is okay. Again, trying to just get better at moving in general. That will be my profession, is watching people move, so I need to get good at it myself, I feel like. But anyway, let's get into where we actually had some fun. Not that the med balls and band pull aparts and stuff weren't fun, but who doesn't want to do a 2 board press for a 1 RM? So first thing, we'll go ahead and just watch a couple of these on the warm up, and we don't need to watch my whole setup here. So right now the rack is very high, so we ended up switching that. You'll notice that later on. But this is 175 for 3, just still getting a feel for it. Trying to still get a decent pause while I'm at the bottom. And yeah, that moved really, really well, clearly. Then we went to 205. Again, I was going up with the GA Cameron, who decided to stand in front of the camera, so I apologize, guys. But you can see the bar speed still moved really, really well. Then we went up to 245. I'm sorry, we were at 195, then 205. This was my first single right here, I believe. We'll back it up a little bit. Again, I almost had to protract my scapulas to kind of get it out of the rack. So that was kind of unfortunate. That's why we ended up dropping it back down. As you can see, TD's dropping it down right now, just so it's a little bit easier to get it out of the rack. We can stay tight in good position, and that ended up proving to be very, very beneficial. We moved it here now. Here's my setup again. Now I can kind of wedge myself into the bench a little bit better and actually kind of stay tight even on the unrack. Still was a little bit heavy just because I need a middle one. Uh, we've kind of talked about. And 225 moved really, really well there as well, even with being a decent pause. Again, maybe not quite competition. I don't know for sure, but I was pretty happy with it still. That I'm not just bouncing it or anything similar to that. Here, this was actually this is my top set actually at 265. So I did another one in between, but Cam wanted to record his set, and I just continued the recording just on normal camera instead of the Turnkey Coach app. So that one did not get uploaded as like I thought it did. I just uploaded it, I thought, before this video, so I apologize on that. But not a big deal. 245 went well, so I did 265. I made a 20-pound jump this close, so it felt really good. Especially that was the first time I had a spotter. Excuse me, not a spotter, a lift off, and it worked really well. So here's this 265. Now I'm just gonna let us play this out. I'm gonna skip my long setup so we're not wasting 20 seconds of your all's time, but I'm just gonna let it play out. I'm not even gonna say anything. Now, that was the longest set I think I've ever been a part of, or at least me under the barbell. Now I'm gonna start it. So as soon as I start the descent, I'm at 29 seconds, and we'll go till the lockout. That was an 8-second rep, and I was really happy I was able to do that, and I felt like I don't feel like I've been able to tap into that side of just straining for so long until today, and I was really, really happy with that performance there. Maybe the load could be heavier and it would look a lot cooler, especially if it had, a 25 on there or whatever. But that was definitely my 2 board 1RM. No more could have gone on the bar, and I don't think I would have got it up. But again, I'm just glad that I'm finally being able to kind of tap in. Maybe it's to those other high threshold motor units or whatever it is, but just tap into that other side of where I can grind through those slow, grindy reps. Now I actually want to see. So I hit it here at about 30, and we'll just kind of go off when I kind of reverse it. I do kind of lift my butt just slightly, but I don't think it's my butt. It's more just my hamstring. So I'm not too sure what that would be for sure to meet. But so we'll go from right here. I'm at about 30 when I start to reverse it. And that put me at lockout. Yeah, so lockout was 7 seconds. The concentric portion was 7 seconds, and that was a long time while being under that barbell. But that was awesome. I had a lot of fun with that. Really hyped up here. Got some skin from Cameron there. So yeah, that was the 2 board session from today, which was really awesome. We'll kind of scroll through the rest of this workout pretty quickly. For the incline dumbbell bench press, this is what I was confused about, and I'll actually just show you all a feature that I would be able to do if you all were a client of mine. So some people have every once in a while will get, that's the wrong person. I apologize. Some clients of mine will every once in a while have to, modify their lift or whatever it may be, and then I'll have to go back through and change it. So what I accidentally did was I've been putting dumbbell incline bench with a 3-second eccentric, and this time I did incline dumbbell bench press, which is fine. But if we want to be very specific with how we're tracking, we want everything to be the same. And the reason being, if we go back down here, we have our history. We've done this for 2 weeks, but we actually didn't have any recent history or PRs or anything like that. They're all empty because this is technically the first time we've done this. This was my fault, again, because I did not specify. But now, if I go into this, where are we at here? If I go into this week right here, and I just change this to dumbbell incline bench, 3 seconds, save. Now, it's not going to show up right away on our system here, but now my data will be saved to be a little bit differently, to where I have the history of that movement itself. And again, it won't show up here because I'd have to refresh it, and then the video would probably be stopped, and I don't want to do that. However, just showing the easiness of kind of, hey, I couldn't get to this today, I had to do this instead. As a client or a coach fix, whatever, if you'd like to use Turnkey Coach as a coach, that's a great tool for sure. So anyway, getting to the actual lift, but getting past that little spot, we had, once again, 3-second eccentric, 15 reps. The eccentric is about 3 seconds sometimes. There's the reps that are slower. There's reps that are a little bit quicker. I try to stay as consistent as possible, but these are obviously not 3 seconds, and they did feel pretty dang heavy today, so like I'll give myself a break this time, but still in at least a controlled fashion that I was happy about. But looking back on it now, hindsight 2020 kind of thing, definitely was moving a little quick. But well, yeah, that's pretty much it. I was just moving a little too quick, so I'll definitely have to try to fix that. I'm actually not too sure what we have for our secondary press movement in these coming weeks, so I'll have to check that out soon. I'll probably be doing my programming in the next day or so. But now, moving on over to single arm dumbbell row. Again, hit these with 95s. They might not be the most pretty rows, but I've been told that I need to just start yanking it. And these aren't too bad, really. Like, these are not too bad. But I was doing very, very bodybuilder, like putting myself at mechanically disadvantage to get more stretch and eccentric contraction and things like that out of that. That was not the smartest way to describe that. But I was doing more bodybuilding style of these rows, to put it simple. But now transitioning to more of a powerlifting or just strength-based training programs, I'm trying to just get as strong as possible, basically. And picking up more weight is probably going to help me do that. Obviously, I'm trying to keep good technique. But if I'm not getting the perfect stimulus or really feeling my lats right now, then I'm not too worried about it because I know if I'm rowing the weight, I'm rowing the weight. Obviously, there is still like parameters that I need to set for myself. I can't just be like trying to half curl it and swing it up to there. But as long as I'm thinking about pulling through my elbow and I'm pulling it back, I'm not bending at the elbow, anything like that, and curling it, I'm going to be kind of okay with that. Again, it's still a mindset switch for like even these 6 weeks. If you've been following along, I've slowly progressed in my training technique, I suppose, but also like just like how I attack the workout. I feel like, and that's kind of all I have on that aspect of things. But it's definitely just new. It's just new. It's just anytime you try something new, you always try to go back to your old habits. And then eventually, slowly over time, the new habits become more of a staple in your daily life kind of thing. But that is now in my training. So moving on. So instead of this dumbbell collie press, I wanted to do something a little bit heavier today. And I decided to choose just barbell press or press, whatever you want to call it, shoulder press. And I went 45. I was going to do higher volume, but then I was like, you know what? I have to do 70 pounds on curls anyway, so I did 70, and then obviously that got a little heavier than I expected, but especially after the other presses. But pretty simple here, just pressing out overhead, making sure to push that head through over top to be overhead versus out in front, like a lot of people do, wasting energy having that barbell out in front of you. Me and TD are still talking right here, so I paused and looked back at him. Again, this is my first time. Like, I have not actually done just a shoulder press for a workout in quite a long time. And I kind of liked it. I'm not going to lie. We'll go ahead and watch this second set of, I believe, 8 reps here. And this was 70 pounds. A little disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I was really hoping I could at least get double digits. But still felt pretty good. Had good range of motion on it to an extent. I wish I would have came down a little bit further there. But going through. Had some good ones, keeping them very strict. No legs in these. I don't think there was one rep on my last set that I tried to throw up there and I still didn't even get it. But grinded that one out. There we go. Yeah, I just didn't have that one. Doing heavy shoulder press after the bench definitely is not the most optimal way to do that. But again, I had fun. It was fun training session, and that's kind of what it's all about. And if you noticed, I only did 3 sets instead of 4. I was just destroyed by the end of this. My arms, just they weren't performing very well. We can look at our history on here on these curls. Last time we got 12, 10, 10, 9. We got 10, 7, 7 on the first 3 sets. So I kind of decided that like it might just be done and to kind of live to fight another day kind of thing. And obviously they're curls, so I wouldn't have got too fatigued from them. But I also had an exam that I don't know how well that went today. But we'll have to see when that gets graded. But anyway, going through curls, nothing special here. Just getting a little bicep pump to fill the sleeves kind of thing. Grinding it out still. Perfect. I think I might try to get one more up here, but I don't. Yeah, it doesn't quite happen. I'm just doing partials at this point, just trying to get some. I only counted the ones that were full range of motion, or just at least just up short of it. And then we had these banded side bends that we've been doing. I actually still really enjoy these, and I had a pretty good amount of sets with these, or not sets, excuse me. These sets themselves felt really good on those obliques. So again, we're just reaching down, letting that band kind of pull us down, but controlling it at the same time, and then really squeezing opposite back to center to work those opposite side obliques. And these felt really, really good. I have never really trained this much in the frontal plane, at least when it comes to my trunk. And it feels really good, actually. It just feels, like I said, to switch it up and do something new is really, really fun. Obviously, the frontal plane, I've trained pull downs and things like that, but that's neither here nor there. And again, I'm not going to watch me just waddle back and forth for the next minute. So I will probably end this video here. Besides the metrics, difficulty was about a 3 today. Like I said, these max effort days, they're not really difficult per se. You might have a difficult set, aka that 265 max 2-board set. That was difficult, yes, but overall, like I didn't walk out of the gym today or the weight room today and just feel like I just got hit by a bus. I got out of there and I was like, wow, that was cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and maybe that's because I'm not training hard enough. I don't know, but that's my experience. If you have something different, please let me know. Duration wise, about 75 minutes. Talked a little bit, 3 people rotating in and out. Slows down the bench just a little bit, but not too bad. And then we had our fatigue level, which I felt pretty good. I had a decent food day yesterday. And yeah, that's all I kind of got for you all. If you have any questions, I said, like about the training or anything similar, please don't feel free to leave them down below, and I'll try to get back to them as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.